And we are live. Hello, everybody. It's your man KTJ here for another session here with Love Coach Sessions Live. I'm glad you guys are here. Welcome. This is the only place on the internet where we tell the truth about dating, about relationships, about love. And I'm glad that you are here tonight. And so we got a TikTok audience that is checking in over here. Let me know where you guys are watching the show from. I'm glad to have you over there as well. I have my girl Ciara. She is here. She's a relationship coach. And Ciara, go ahead and introduce yourself to the people so then we can get into this conversation we got going on here tonight.
Absolutely. It's my pleasure. Thank you for having me on. I am the absolutely fabulous, anointed, and charismatic Kara Adams, and I am determined to help thousands and thousands and thousands of women attract the right man and commitment this year. And we're going to do that with clarity, with communication techniques, and attraction strategies so good that man's going to want to commit.
Okay. Okay. That's what I'm talking about. So, Ciara, thank you so much for joining me tonight. And somebody already talking about, hi, I have a question for you. All right, well, just hold your question for now. And I will definitely get to your question tonight. Me and Ciara, we're going to answer your question tonight. But so let's get into the conversation tonight. And look, and if I forget, please remind me to answer your question. But you can drop your question as we get it going on here tonight. So, Ciara, tonight our topic is how Russell Wilson displays alpha energy that makes Ciara weak. When you first saw this title and saw the thumbnail, what comes to your mind about this situation and even how you think about this title?
Well, the title made me think of SWV. I get so weak in the knees, I cannot
Yes.
speak. Oh, I lose all control.
I get so weak.
That,
Blood starts
that,
racing.
that. Who doesn't want to feel that? So I was like, okay,
Yes.
I'm here for this conversation. And I
Yes.
really love to have this discussion about alpha males. I think it's important as it pertains to love, dating, and relationships. So I'm excited to talk about it.
Yes. 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 And my first thought, and the reason this came up is, I you continually hear people saying that Russell Wilson is kind of the simp. Ciara's got this song out for independent single women, championing the lifestyle of the independent woman who, girl, go get your own, you can do it yourself. And she's going home to a $20 million mansion that her husband gave her. So that was kind of controversial. So look, and you guys, look, I want to even hear y'all comments on that, right? We're gonna hit this from every angle here tonight because look, I'm not on any of these people's side. I'm on everybody's side. Okay, I'm not taking those sides. I'm on everybody's side. I'm happy for them that they found love and relationship and found connection. Um, are there issues? I'm sure there are. I don't know one perfect relationship. Not one. So I'm sure that there's some kind of issues going on. But I found a video, you guys. I want y'all to check out this video that I found. I got two of them that I want you guys to hear, to check out, and then we're gonna pop right back into this. I'm going to just play the audio so that we don't get demonetized for it. All right. So just check out the audio on this, and then I'll you know what, Carol, I'll stop and we'll just kind of take it piece by piece
Okay.
on this. All right, let's check it out.
Aw,
Okay.
thank you.
Hold on, let me set the scene. So this is Russell Wilson, Ciara. They were on the Ellen show, and he I guess this might have been maybe Valentine's Day or something when Ellen's show was still on, and he brought her out a armful of roses, and so that's her saying, "Oh, that's so nice," and he's cheesing. All right, so
So this is fun. I get to be on set with you. I get to
Yes.
be, okay, we're gonna have a little fun today, huh?
Yes. So guys, the funny thing is that Russ makes me really nervous.
Stop right there. Stop right there. Ciara, in our introduction, like in the content, I wrote that Ciara says something often that let me know. Now, everybody else thinks that this guy is a simp. Everybody else thinks that this guy is a weakling being married, led around by his wife, right? She does whatever she wants, thottyism. She goes out, she's dancing sexy, she's doing her own thing, and she's just using him for the money. That's what they think, right? But did you hear what she just said?
About Russell makes her so nervous.
Yes. Let me pull back.
Do for some. So guys, the funny thing is that Russ makes me really nervous.
I do.
So yes, you do. For some reason, I don't know. I mean, I kind of know why, but I don't know. I always feel so vulnerable when I'm with you in this setting. But
well, I do know everything about you, first of all, and second of all, I'm gonna make you more nervous right now. You guys want me to make her more nervous?
No.
All right. Before you do that, Ciara, what's your thought on this? Why do you think she says this guy makes her nervous? Why do you think?
Well, I mean, I didn't see this clip, so I'm just going off the top. But
sure.
One thing is nervous, like I don't know what he's going to say, I don't know what he's going to do, because he's his own man and he's going to speak his mind and do what he's going to do.
Okay. Here's what I see, right? Before they got married, when they were just dating, right? That he made her wait until they got married to have sex.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. She come from the streets, right? Look, she's an Atlanta girl. She from around the way, right? She's used to dating these rough thug guys. She's used to Future. She's used to like being able to manipulate men, using her sexuality to do all of that sort of thing. Russell Wilson shut her down from that, right? Instead of what I encourage my female clients. I say, look, a man should have to climb up to you. A man should. A man really wants a woman he has to look up to, right? A woman that really like, he's like, wow, she is super special. I don't want to do anything to mess this up, right?
Mm-hmm.
In this situation, it's actually the reverse. She feels it, and I could be wrong about this, but it seems like she feels like she has to climb up to meet his expectations. It's like she has to rise to, like he had a real standard on how he wanted the relationship to be, and it's like she don't want to do anything like to mess this up. She don't want to make him mad. She doesn't want to she don't want to get off on anything. So she wants to like play this square. Like, what do you think about that?
I don't agree.
Okay. Tell me why you don't.
I don't agree at all. Because I think the cool thing is once you take sex off the table, which I totally recommend, you take it off the table, then you are left with, do I like this person? Do we vibe? Do we connect? Because when it's not about sex, you're left with conversation and goals and morals and a whole bunch of things. Because a lot of people don't even realize they don't even like each other because their chemistry is so hot, or because they're always ripping each other's clothes off. So they have no idea that they have nothing else to talk about. And so when you remove that, you have changed the foundation of the relationship and actually put it on more solid rock, more solid foundation, because it's based on other things besides physical attraction. They're both beautiful people. They're both super attractive. They're both hot, sexy in their own right. And so together they're a spectacular couple. They're not blind. They know that. So there had to be spark, there had to be passion, there had to be all those things, whether you have sex or not. That interest has to be there. So I don't think that she's thinking, oh my gosh, I'm going to mess this up. Is this man is different, because I thought she was a church girl. Was she not? Isn't she a preacher's kid?
She does have some church girl in her, but she got
Yeah.
some street
So
in her too.
yeah, but a whole bunch of people have street things, or a lot of women do
Sure.
things with a man that's not necessarily what they want to do, but they do it anyway because that's what's expected or what they think they're supposed to do, or they think it's a natural part of it. But it's really cool when a man likes you and wants to be with you without taking
Mhm.
sex off the table. And when they take sex off the table, because in so many instances, all we feel like is a piece of meat that all they're trying
Yeah.
to do is get into our pants. And so
Yeah.
it's kind of nice when a man actually wants to get to know you, get to know the
Yes.
real you. You can't hide behind your sexuality. You can't hide behind being cute and being flirtatious, because
Yeah.
he's saying, nope, I'm not interested in all that. I want to know who you are.
Right. And so, and look, I totally agree with that. All of that is true, but I'm following kind of the pattern that I see. And the pattern that I see, I kind of see how and I heard her say this on this show. I've heard her say that multiple times, that he makes her nervous, like she don't want to mess up. She
But she
like
doesn't say she doesn't want to mess up. She just says
no,
he makes her nervous.
it's just it's there's something about her body language when she says it that gave me that impression. So let me play this other let me play another clip, another video. Well, let me see if there's more from that. And you guys look, I don't claim to know it all. Look, y'all chime in and tell me if I'm wrong. Who thinks I'm wrong, and who thinks I'm right? Who thinks I'm wrong, and who thinks I'm right about what I just said? All right, I'm gonna play it
I
again.
think another key
Yes. So guys, the fun.
Hold on. Go ahead, Kara.
No, I was going to say another key piece of that is when you take sex off the table, what's probably happening, what makes her nervous is she's naked, because she's there vulnerable, exposing the real her. It's really easy a lot of times to share your body. It's a lot harder to share who you are inside.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I think she's nervous.
Yeah. That could be the case. That could be the case. I just have a gut feeling that like he's created a large frame for her, and she's not totally sure that she can fill the frame, and that she doesn't, she wants to make him happy and keep him happy, which there's nothing wrong with that at all. All right. There's nothing wrong with that at all. All right, let me pull that one down. I got another one, you guys. And you guys tell me what you think of this one. So this is a clip of I'm not gonna show you guys the clip again, just because I want to make sure we don't get in trouble on the YouTubes. We can. So let me change that. So this is what it looks like. They are on the show The Real. All right. So let me just play it. I can play it. You can hear the audio without any problems. All right. So here we go.
Now check out this next conversation from the Pivot podcast. It's gone viral over some opinions about singer Ciara.
Hey, Miss Nika.
Russell
What's going
Wilson.
on, lady?
During the conversation, one of the hosts stated that Ciara would have never married the NFL player if he didn't have money. The host even went on to say that Russell is a square and questioned how the singer could go from dating a man like Future to marrying a man like Wilson. So, ladies, what do you think about this?
I'll take square for 500 Alex.
All right, before they get into that, is there anybody here who thinks that Russell Wilson is a square? You guys could drop your comments in the comment section. If you think that that Russell Wilson is a square, he's not even this woman's type, and this is all an act. If this is all an act, you guys tell me who believes he's a square. All right, we got some folks over here. She's Lacey said she believes he's a square. All right, what y'all think? All right.
about singer Ciara and her hubby Russell
This is
Wilson.
what they
During
saying.
the conversation, one of the hosts stated that Ciara would.
She said, but squares treat you right. Somebody believe it's a time for a bad boy and it's a time for a square. And when you got children and you got property and you got real life going on, you don't need no problems. You need a solid individual.
Have never married the NFL player if he didn't have money. The host.
So, question, you guys: would Ciara have married Russell Wilson if he didn't have money?
I think that's
Ciara?
a non-question. I think it's a non-question. I don't even think it's anything to talk about. She's a celebrity in her own right, and he's a celebrity in his own right. That's why they're connected.
Somebody said 100% square. You say because they're both celebrities. That's why.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's keep going.
And once again, she's not broke.
No, she's not broke, but she's not Russell Wilson money, but she's not broke.
There's a whole bunch of women that marry a man that have a lot more money than they do. And
even went on to say that Russell is a square and questioned how the singer could go from dating a man like Future to marrying a man like Wilson. So, ladies, what do you think about this?
I'll take square for 500, Alex.
Right.
I'll take square any day.
I think it's down to the eye of the beholder. Who are you calling square? Are you talking about a man who is trustworthy, loyal, humble, honest, maybe comfortable with the sexy woman being sexy as hell, having one of the finest women in the industry and parading her and putting her up on a pedestal? Is that square?
She said parading and putting her up on a pedestal. Somebody's not gonna like that.
Or is it more cool to actually be the dude who has several bitches on his side, who's sitting there flossing all the ice and all of his bank on top of him and buying women Birkins and thinking that he's the man because he's doing just that? Like, is that cool? Because if that is, I'd rather the square. Because the guys that are the good guys, I feel like in this industry and also in just on the gram, they're not revered as good men in life.
Okay.
They're looked at as the player is the one that looks like the cool guy.
Yeah.
Russell looks like a real good dude. And you know how I can tell? Not because I know him, but because my girl is smiling every freaking time I see her. Looks happy. She looks like she's having great sex.
Ciara?
yes.
What do you think of that?
Which part?
The smile on her face. She said the smile on her face tells you that this is a happy woman and that this isn't an act. What do you think about that?
I think there's no doubt that she's being treated well, that she's not being embarrassed, that she's not going to be song lyrics, that she's not going to be on the blogs, that she's, I'm going to keep going, because that was her past, and her present and her future doesn't have any of that in it. Yeah, I said that on purpose. Yeah, because, and like I said, this whole thing about being square and being a simp, I'm so tired of those words. I'm so tired of the fact that all these women that are in my community, they want a good man. They want a godly man, a good man, trustworthy, this, that, and the other. But you can't then go co-sign on something talking about he's a simp and he's a square. A square is a derogatory term that I would not appreciate at all. In terms of, I would say he's a good man. And he seems to be the right man for Ciara. Yeah. So, and I think that's the only thing.
So look, I think the idea of the square, I think they're just coming from the perspective that he's not the cool guy. And, when you're 19, when you're 22, most women want to be with the cool guy, right? But when you're a grown woman, you want to be with the solid guy, and there's nothing wrong with that. So this guy he's not the most swaggy, guy that he's not the guy that's going to go hang out with the guys like that the guys will be like, I want him to come be with us as we go and hang out, have a beer, go and do that sort of thing. That's just not who he is, and that's okay, right? the important thing, one of the most important things that a man has to do is to know who he is. Like self-awareness is everything in manhood, in masculinity, right? You got to know who you are, what you do, what you don't do, and be totally comfortable with that. So maybe he's the guy who's totally comfortable at the house, totally comfortable hanging out with his wife, totally comfortable doing the thing, or maybe even just being alone. Some of his teammates have spoken out at times and just said it was difficult to be his teammate as they played football, because he really wasn't a guy's guy. He wasn't really a pal of the guys. He was just kind of a come to do the work, and then he's going on and moving on.
But see, here's the irony, because you're talking to somebody who loves football, who was a coach's wife for a long time. And the reality is football is his job. Football is a job. And the ones that get in trouble are the ones who think it's a party and it's a frat and not coming to work. That's why they get fined. That's why they get sidelined. That's why they get traded. But the ones who come to work and put in work and go to work and get the job done, that's a whole nother thing. So once again, I tend to be that kind of person. I want to go to work. Those people aren't my friends. They're my coworkers and my acquaintances. We ain't got to be pals. Just when I throw the ball to you, you catch it.
That's it.
You run the route.
That's it.
You be where you're supposed to be. Do your job.
Here to win the championship. That's it.
Hello. So that's what I'm saying. So what are we talking about? He didn't get on the team to make friends. Like, that's not a play group.
Yeah.
That is a job.
Yes.
So
yes. Hold on, Carrie. It is a job, but in team sport, there has to be a sense of cohesion amongst the people that you're working with.
Cohesion is not the same thing as wanting to pal around with somebody. Cohesion is, I know the playbook. I run the place. Once again, you're talking to somebody who's been on the inside, who's been to training camp, who's been on the sidelines inside NFL facilities and training facilities, and have known so many of these players from the time they were in high school all the way till they retired. So you're talking to a woman that knows football. And I'm telling you that the people that are worried about that kind of stuff are the same ones that are partying. They're the ones that are a liability to the team. The person that shows up on time, on practice, is the ones that the people are there that are veterans that come to do the job, come to do the work, appreciate. It's the same thing that women appreciate: security, protection, someone who's solid, someone who's reliable, someone who's dependable, someone who knows their job, that does their job. They ain't got to be coached up. They ain't got to be talked to. I ain't got to be their mama. I don't have to be their teacher. I ain't got to teach them nothing. They're a man. They're a grown man that came here to do work. They came to do what they're supposed to do.
Right. Let's catch a little bit more of this.
She looks like she's actually feeling herself. That's a good man beside her.
I mean, I think, when you're looking at it, we're all at a certain age that I think we also want the nice square guy. But I think what he's referring to is, to go from Future to Russell is a completely different type. And normally we have types, but I think what it is sometimes you want your peace. You want a man who's going to support you and love you and let you be you, as opposed to a man who may not. And I'm not saying that about Future, but I'm just saying that, sometimes we want the nice guy when we're tired of the bad boy.
Stop right there. Because that's a reality there for a lot of people, right? You wanted the bad boy. But now that you're grown up, now that you mature, oh no, he's not what I want. Now I want the solid guy. So
see,
hold on, Ciara, hold on. I am a firm believer that you need to know who you are before you get into any of these situations, right? The best thing you can do is, I said it earlier, self-awareness. Self-awareness. Who is right for you? Some people have no idea. So you just date whoever dates you. And that includes Pookie. That includes Ray Ray. That includes whoever steps up. You like, okay, well, hey, these are my choices. This is one of the reasons why I like women who have no problem going out and meeting men, having a conversation with a man. If you want to meet, like my girl did, guy was all dressed up. He was sharp. My girl walked over there and said, "Hey, sir, you looking sharp today?" Nah, nah, nah. Wiped off his jacket. Hey, you got some lint right there, but you looking sharp today. And they got the little conversation going, and they 2 years later they're married to this day, right? Self-awareness. You got to know what you want, so you're not just floating into these relationships. I bet you she just floated into Future. She probably didn't even have no idea. Like, yes, he's the kind of guy that I want, because he had already had probably like 6 babies, like 6 different baby mamas. Like, he got a lot going on, and he became that. He is that. That is who he is. So I believe that I'm a firm believer that you need to decide who you are and what you want, and go after that. Go ahead, Ciara.
I don't remember.
Okay. All right. Well, we keep going.
You know, I think that this was something that was personal. As I was reading and doing a little more research, reportedly, maybe Russell had dated one of this guy's girlfriends.
Yeah.
Look, we got to stop allowing our past and making these type of comments. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's like, it's a lot of personal stuff happening in Hollywood. And I feel like, the more and more that I get into this industry, because a lot of people have been together now 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. And so people are getting on shows and kind of like saying things. And I'm like, is it really based on that, or is it based on something personal that you're probably hurt by?
Yeah.
True.
All right, hold on. So we got some feedback here on the TikTok side. My girl Key, she said yes, but some guys are too scared to make that move. Yes, some guys are too scared to make that move. Hold on, let me do something real quick. I'm going to let me do something real quick. I'm gonna peel off this jacket a little bit. It's hotter in the studio than I thought. Okay, so look, I agree. There are some guys who are nervous. Some guys get nervous about meeting women. Some guys get nervous about getting out. Some guys get nervous about, like, they're in their head thinking about what you're thinking about. Is she gonna like me? Is she gonna do all those sort of things? And so they end up not getting picked. So, Ciara, what you think about that?
I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that so many women go out in packs with all their girlfriends, and it makes them very hard to be approachable. So many women are walking around not smiling, not being open, being so focused on the task at hand and not being aware of their surroundings, and that there might be young, eligible prospects around them. And so I think a lot of times you're putting yourselves into positions where you're not approachable because they see you shooting down a whole bunch of other men, or they see that you're like snapping somebody's head off, or they're seeing that you're with a whole bunch of girls and no man's going to walk up to a table full of women when there's somebody else that's off to herself, or she walks away from the table. Like I recommend so often, that a woman should step away. If you're with your pack of girlfriends at happy hour at a restaurant, take a slow walk around, take a slow walk to the bathroom by yourself, give an opportunity for a man to speak to you. So that way you can still enjoy your girls, but you make it easier for a man to approach you, because it is very nerve-wracking to talk to women, and especially because so many women have such a hard exterior. Some women are offended when a man speaks to them, offended when they open the door, offended. So men are like reluctant to step in, do those things. So they're looking for any kind of hint or clues that you may be receptive, or even if you were to shoot them down, you're not going to embarrass them.
Yeah. Men just spend a lot of time in their heads. Y'all have no idea what it's like to just be in your head and just be wondering if this woman is attracted to you, if you even have a shot. Does she see you? Does she like you? Are you gonna, is this gonna go anywhere? And just to be in your head, just standing there staring.
And that's why it's important as a woman to be aware of your surroundings. So if you clock eyes with the guy, right, he's not going to know if you were just scanning the room or you were actually looking at him. So you need to make a point of like looking at him again and smiling and holding contact longer than you normally would. So it becomes a little bit more obvious that, oh, wait, it wasn't accidental. She looked at me again and now she's smiling and she's making that connection.
Yes.
That opens the door for him to approach.
Yes. And you know what? So like, our topic tonight is about alpha energy, and how he affects the woman in his life, right? This is something that I've been having this conversation for a while with men, and that is learning how to communicate with women, right? If you some of the biggest problems we have is because we don't know how to communicate. Here's something I want you ladies to remember. Often men think in our minds that we are communicating regularly, right? But in essence, we are under communicating. So for a man to really catch up, right, we actually have to over communicate just to get to the line of regular communication. Because we spend a lot of time in our heads. Men spend a lot of time in our heads, thinking about what we're thinking about, and just, is this, is that, how is this going to work out? Like a lot of time in our heads. Men,
but Calvin, it's not all men.
No, listen what I'm saying. Follow me on this. Follow me on this. Men, and I use these. I can use these blanket statements just because scientifically they say that women speak, I believe it's like 60,000 words a day, and men speak like 20,000. Right? It's not because we didn't have anything to say. Men in general save our words for things that we find important. Right? So the analogy I just gave about the men who under communicate, we under communicate because we think that the thing that we have to say, or the thing that thing that we're not saying, we think that that's not important to say. So we under communicate. So for most guys, what we really have to do is we have to over communicate just to get to the line of regular communication where the women in our lives are, where our communication can meet her communication. So sometimes we over communicate. We need to over communicate, and sometimes the women in our lives need to bring it down a notch and listen to what the man is saying. Listen to how he's saying it, and it balances out. Go ahead, Ciara.
I was going to say there are a lot of men, ladies, if this has happened to you, let me know. There are a lot of men that talk and talk and talk and talk, and you can't get in a word in. Men that talk and talk and talk. It is happening so much. They have so much to say, and they're sharing everything but the kitchen sink. A lot of times that's how you can tell a man is unhealed, because he's saying all kinds of stuff about his ex. He will talk and talk and talk about his ex if he still has issues with her. He will talk and talk and talk about a woman he's still in love with. He will talk and talk and talk and talk. And then it's when a woman expects a man to talk like a woman where we have this disconnect and this breakdown, because we are made completely differently. So a lot of times women are coming from an emotional space and men are coming from logic. And I think the symbiosis of it is a beautiful thing. So there's a lot of times that I think there's a reason why God really wanted male energy and female energy in the home because they balance one another. So that way, where a man is coming hard and firm, a woman comes with that softness, that nurturing, and another perspective. So then they together as a couple can balance out those things. Where there's a disconnect, and that's why I think it's so interesting to talk about alpha energy. A man that's truly an alpha male will not say, I am an alpha male. A man that says, I am so this and I'm so this and whatever, and I have all this alpha energy, true alpha men don't do that because they're so secure in who they are as a man. They don't have to beat their chest. They don't have to floss. They don't have to buy a whole bunch of iciness on their necks and their rings and all this other stuff. In fact, there's a whole book about it called Millionaire Next Door. There's a lot of millionaires, you can't tell they got that money because they're not showing it off. And there's lots of them. So that's why I think a lot of times, ladies, you are getting misled by individuals who are flashy with their cash. Same thing when they talk about somebody that has generational wealth. Somebody that comes from money tends to, sometimes you're going, oh, they're riding in that car or they're doing that because they have the practicality of real wealth, where somebody that's new to wealth tends to want to buy a whole bunch of flashy cars to prove they have all this money, when somebody who really has money has nothing to prove. Same thing with alpha energy. When a man is truly masculine, he doesn't have to tell you he's so masculine. It just flows out of them. It oozes out of them. And I think a lot of this behavior that we're considering and we're deeming as cool energy, to me, is not. I think it's that fake alpha energy, that fake masculinity that is very powerful, very dominant, it's very sharp. It makes for interesting sound bites, but it doesn't make for good relationships that last and that are consistent, that are loving, that are kind, that go the distance.
Yeah, you know, I agree. You know, I grew up in one of those neighborhoods, and a lot of this is with our, I want to say there's an age around some of this stuff too. You know, because when I grew up in one of those neighborhoods where it wasn't directly in the hood, but it was surrounding the hood. You know, and I remember being a young man, and me and my friends decided and designed how we were going to walk, right? Because in our neighborhoods, if you didn't walk right, you could be a walking victim.
Right.
Okay. If you did that whole flat foot walk the way that these boys do today, you're begging for somebody to come mess with you. So for me, I literally remember going, I'm going to walk like this. The tough man walk. I had like a little bounce in my step, you know, and one of my other boys, he said, I'm gonna walk like this, like I'm trying to catch up, right? And all of that was a protection mechanism, right? And a lot of men are still in protective mode. They want to be seen as in a certain light. They want people to feel like they want to feel masculine. That was fake masculine energy. That was fake alpha energy out of protection, you know. And so there's still a lot of people who live in that today. A lot of guys who still live in that. And so again, it comes right back to, I don't care. I really don't even believe much in this alpha, beta. Like, be you. Be you. You don't have to be an alpha male, no beta male. No, be the best you that you can be. The best you is the person who the person that knows who you are. Self-awareness, knowing exactly who you are. What are you here to do? Who cares how cool you are, or who cares? Why did God put you on this planet? And are you fulfilling your God-given purpose for being here? Yes or no? And I think that's important. Go ahead, Ciara.
Absolutely. And, you know, it's interesting you said about self-protection, because hello, ladies, is that not all of us? So many of us are coming with that hard exterior that I told you about that makes women so unapproachable, but a lot of that comes from protection. So at the same time, guys are trying to learn how to walk. We're trying to learn how to walk so we don't get too much attention too soon for how our body looks if we're too young, so that we can walk down the street and feel like we're not going to get all these cat calls and whistles and this, that, and the other. Like, same neighborhood, different energy. But one of the things that happens is, depending on what field of work a man goes into, he may have to have that persona on at work all the time. Like pipe fitters and welders and a lot of those very blue collar, very rough,
hands-on,
where they're in isolated areas for on oil rigs, on putting down pipelines, doing a lot of work with electricity and all these different things and wires and all this stuff. That tends to be something they do. Now, as women, what really is really helpful is if you can create that safe haven, that safe place, so that when he comes home, he can leave that at the door and maybe return to being who he really is, without having to have that facade of masculinity that he must put on like a suit of armor when he goes out into the workplace. But sometimes, ladies, our mouth is reckless, and we say things like calling somebody square. We could say things about saying he's weak, and we say things about him being a couple of P words I can think of that come to mind. And those things are things that puts men in a position of going, it's not safe to be able to let down my guard with this woman. If you're the one that repeats his business to everybody, he knows that you're not really trustworthy. That there should be something that makes you want to protect him from everybody else and him for you, so that y'all protect the relationship. So you have this wall, that you have your kingdom inside your walls. And then when you present as king and queen, they ain't got to know what happened behind those walls. You have a united front. And so part of that is protecting your man, protecting his vulnerability. He should feel safe to express his deepest, darkest feelings. He should be able to cry. He should be able to be upset or sad or angry, or express all those ranges of emotions that a lot of us get triggered on based on different wounds or different situations we've had in our past, and not seeing the individual like he's having a bad day and he wants to vent. We let our girlfriends do it, but a lot of times men are not allowed to, because it's seen as being too aggressive. Or what's he doing? He's being weak. Why is he sharing all these feelings? Like a man's supposed to be all hard. Because ladies, a lot of us are giving that feedback where we're telling them it's not safe, it's not cool, it's not desirable for you to be who you are and express your full range of emotion.
Yes. Agree. All right, so let me grab some of these questions that let me statement. Let me say, loves one blind said, she said, "LOL. I just told him last night he doesn't know how to communicate. He said he'd never heard that before." I'm sure.
But see, you know what? Okay, here's the thing. I don't know if there was a question at the end of that, but the problem I'm hearing, that's very accusatory, and that's called a conversational stopper. That is not the way to communicate. That you're basically saying you're doing it wrong and you're messing up and you ain't doing it right. As opposed to saying, because this is something you have to learn. I learned this in grad school as part of the work that I do in terms of communications, one of the pillars of my community that I have. You should instead say, and a very specific example, because men are logical and practical and reasonable. So if you say, when you do this, I feel this is better. When I ask you a question and you just look at your phone, or you don't look me in the face, I feel like you're not communicating with me. Or when I ask you a question and your reply is so short, I feel like you didn't hear me.
Yeah.
Those are the ways that it's better way to express the same sentiment, because that's the short version. That's the title. That's the conclusion. Like, you ain't communicating well. I ain't like the way you communicate. I don't feel like you communicate that great. But if you actually want to build up your man and actually improve his communication so he actually wants to talk to you, I wouldn't say that.
Right. Agree. Not to mention that sometimes you got to realize too that, again, many men don't major in communications. Like you, if you ever sat there and watched a bunch of men together, like, men can grunt and know what the other guy is saying. Like men don't usually use a lot of words to communicate, and so let him listen. You got to understand the person that you're with. let him communicate. And then, like, I love Ciara. I love what you just said. Talk to him about what is communication to you, because trust me, he wants to be able to have a conversation with you and have you to actually understand what he's saying. He doesn't want to have a miscommunication. And when you stand over him and go, you don't know how to communicate, what he hears is, you're bad. You're dumb. You're not smart. You're not intelligent. Which says that he's not enough. Tell your man that he's not enough enough times and see what happens. You won't have to worry about it, because some other woman going to tell him that he is enough, and he going to go listen to that. Okay? So listen, be careful about your words. your
And
words
what I
have
think
power.
is interesting, as much as people keep talking about people cheating and this, that, and the other, and a lot of times people are thinking it's about sex.
Mhm.
A lot of times it's about communication.
Yes.
Because when you hear about it, it's usually an emotional affair, whether it's your work husband, your work wife, or it's some individual, because they listen. So whether it's a man or a woman, a lot of times people are going elsewhere outside their relationship when it's not safe, when it's not comfortable, when they feel like they're not heard. They will find somebody else to share that information with. And I also want you to remember who y'all were when you first dated. Almost every couple, when they are first getting to know each other, talks a lot. You have this connection, this vibe. You're on the phone for hours. You're wanting to see them, all that stuff. That energy, that tells you that y'all can communicate.
Yeah.
The problem is, once we get into things like money, children, jobs, scheduling, all these things, they're loaded with emotion. And a lot of us can't separate the emotion from the words, because when we're talking about what's your favorite this, and you talk about your dreams and your favorite places to eat, there's no emotion tied to that. That's just sharing some different things. But when you're talking about, if I have to pick up your socks off the floor one more time, if you don't pick up those children, you told me you were going to do this, that, and the other, why am I that? And so then we switch off that sweet Cleopatra vibe, that really alluring woman we were when we were first dating. And now we've turned into their mama, because we're scolding them. We turn into their teacher. We're telling them what they're not doing right. We turn into their boss, because we're the ones in charge running this household, telling him what to do. Because those are the three roles that I think women, independent women, because that was one of the things you brought up in terms of Ciara's song, independent women are momming their man, bossing their man around, or trying to teach him something. And I don't think you have anything to teach a man about nothing. I don't think you have anything to boss him around, because you're not his boss, and you have nothing to teach him. He's not your student. He's not a little boy. So you should stop talking to him like he is one, and talk to him like the man he is.
Well said. Well said. All right, so we got a guest. I just pulled a guest up from the audience. I want to make sure that everybody can hear you. Hello, Miami Queen. What's going on, lady? How you doing? All right, doing great, doing great. I'm gonna pull you closer. I had to disconnect from the system, but go ahead, talk to me. Oh, so we ended up doing having a meeting as opposed to like having the actual event. So but it's in the books for 2 weeks from now. So we're definitely going to do it right. Yeah, yeah. Have you been listening to the show? So we talked about we talked yeah, so we talked about Russell Wilson, Ciara, and we talking about that alpha energy that a man can show, that really like gives you that secure feeling, like yes, that the feeling that makes you want to be more feminine in the presence of that masculine man. Mm-hmm.
And came home screaming that night, and my dad like stepped up instantly, rushed him to the hospital, and basically saved his life because he had to have immediate brain surgery.
Mm.
So like he just I grew up with knowing that kind of masculine energy that wasn't like a show off in the mouth, but just his presence and how he acted, showed it. So
Yeah.
I can recognize that in a man instantly.
Good stuff. Kara, what do you did you hear what she said? You couldn't hear any of that?
I can't
Okay.
hear her either.
Yeah, I had to I have her going through the system. But yeah, so I'm gonna all right, I'm gonna take I'll tell her what was said and okay. Hey, Italiana, can you hear me now?
I can.
Okay. Is there feedback?
There is an echo of my
Is an echo for you?
just for me. If you can't hear it, right?
No, I can't hear it.
Okay.
So can you hear it, Kara? Okay. So let Kara hear what you had to say, if you don't mind just repeating a little of what you just said.
Yeah, in summary, I would say my father was a very masculine man, but it's just like an innate thing and presence that we felt from him.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't have to like show off with his mouth or, you know, act foolish, like walk around like I'm the man. He was very humble and laid back, but solid.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And knew
And
when to step, when the family really needed him. And we always felt safe.
Yeah. Good
I love
stuff.
that. I love that description of speaking of your father that way, because think
Thank
of
you.
the seeds that it planted in you if you had any siblings. What a wonderful example to grow up in. Because a little bit earlier, I don't know if you caught it, but that was the very definition that I was saying, that when we're saying that men are square or what have you, actually we mean solid, dependable, those kind of things. A good man.
Right.
Those are the definitions of a good man. And an
Mm-hmm.
alpha man, a true masculine man, will not beat his chest, will not scream and roar, will not be flashy, will not be trying to make a
Right.
scene and all those things. He is who he is.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to show up for his family. He's going to be there for his kids. He's going to go to work. He's going to take care of home. He's going to protect, provide, and serve his family. I love that.
Yeah, that's powerful.
It really is.
So I saw something, Kara, when you were just saying that, something came to mind that I saw. Do you know who Saucy Santana is?
Santana, yes. Saucy, not sure.
Okay, there's there's a guy who he's a singer. He's a like a, I don't know if you call that singing or rapper or whatever. He was on Instagram. He's a flamboyant guy. He's got the fingernails and like
I think I've seen him. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He's got a BBL and a full beard and all of that sort of thing, right? And people were like this the stuff he was doing. People were just like in the comment section of that video on Instagram. They were like, I'm confused. They was just like, I'm confused. Like what are we doing? Like, and I thought about that after I watched that video of him shaking his butt and just kind of like it was as if he was putting on trying to be his version of femininity, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking to myself, I kind of understand why a guy would back up from manhood. Did you hear everything that you just said, Kara? All those things, all those attributes that you just said.
Mm-hmm.
Manhood is hard.
Mm-hmm.
Masculinity is difficult. Listen, it's easy to go see a doctor and have him to give you some breast and give you some, and you can go over there to the people, and they put you some fingernails on, and you can just, like, you can mock the version of femininity that you believe that you can be, but you can't fake manhood. You can't put on an air of masculinity. You're either a man or you're not.
Right. But the problem is, so many people have a very narrow definition of what masculinity is, when it's not true. It's got a whole array of different things. And so it's not fair to try to put men into a particular box. And I agree with you. It makes masculinity very hard, especially because right now I feel like there's an assault on men and masculine men.
You
so
see that.
They're under attack, and it seems like they're trying to strip away everything that makes man manly, and saying anything that's manly is aggressive and bad, and everything that's not is good. And that's not true. They're complementary, but it's not bad. It's actually wonderful. And in the absence of masculinity, that's when we have issues. That's why we have issues, because there's too many single parent households, not because, oh, women are this, that, and the other. It's the absence of masculinity. There's supposed to be balance. There's supposed to be a strong woman, but a woman who knows that I'm resting because I have this strong man beside me, and together we are powerful. More powerful together than we could ever be alone.
Yeah, and you know what? It's important. Ciara, I'm glad that you mentioned that. I want us to not be a bunch of social sheep who just go along with whatever social media says it's fine. I guess it's fine. It's like, well, wait a minute. If womanhood is all that matters, who are you going to marry?
But see,
who's gonna be the protector?
Kelvin,
who's gonna be the provider?
Kelvin, they're trying to erase womanhood too. So they're trying to remove masculine and woman. They're trying to get rid of both. So they're both under attack. And it's a problem because so many people are not speaking. There's a very small minority that's very, very vocal about what they want. And there's a huge majority that are silent about what it is they actually believe and what they actually believe to be true. So when they sit by in silence, what's happening is legislation's being passed. Policies are being made.
They say that the squeaky wheel gets the oil.
Media decisions. So when we sit by and go, oh, that's not me or whatever, yes, it is. Because if you don't stand up for something, you will fall for anything. And right now they're trying to push a whole bunch of nonsense. Because why I said womanhood was under attack, they're trying to push this whole idea of being able to have babies outside of a womb and have it in this AI robotic environment, this mass nursery kind of thing. That's what they're trying to pilot. Wow. They're trying to remove the humanity out of something that is a miracle, mystical thing. You might know the biology of it, but there's some other things that are supernatural that happen that we can't explain, that we cannot know, that we won't know this side of heaven.
Yeah,
we're
definitely.
both under attack.
Go ahead, Miami Queen.
I'd like to see what God will do when man step up and do.
Wait, say that again. Can you speak closer to the mic?
I'm curious to see what God will do when these people try to, go along with the babies like that.
Yeah, that's gonna be special, man.
It's already happening. It's not like it's some far off in the future. It's happening right now.
Wow. Unbelievable. All right, Miss Miami Queen, I appreciate you coming up.
Thank you.
Yes, yes,
Thank you for
yes.
sharing that. And please share that with people around you so they know it exists. A lot of people think that kind of man does not exist. You saw it with your own eyes. You grew up in that situation. And that's a legacy that should be shared across the community. Maybe I didn't have it in my family, but because it was in yours, it can give me encouragement and hope.
Yes, yes,
Oh,
yes,
thank
yes.
you. I
All right,
appreciate
lady. Have a great
that.
night.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye. All right. All right. Good, good, good stuff. All right, Ciara, I think we have covered it. I think we covered it pretty good tonight. Um, give us your final thoughts, and then let folks know how they can find you and whatever. Share with them what you got going on that they can get involved with.
Absolutely. So I think I'm going to go back to how I introduced myself because that's how I think we should wrap it up as well.
Mhm.
I was saying the way that you can attract the right man is clarity is one of them, being clear about, and you said this too, being clear about who you are and what you want, being very clear, because a lot of times you might need somebody to help you along the way getting that clarity. You think you're presenting yourself a certain way and maybe not. You think that you want this particular thing, but the things you say, the places you're going, the things you're doing are not showing that. The next thing is communication. Communication is so key, and so many of us are reckless with our mouth that we are either speaking word curses or we're speaking words that actually negate the very thing that we say that we want. We say we want a really good man, but then we call him a square. That's a problem. Which one do you want? You can't be double minded. You can't say you want one thing and then insult it in the very next breath. And then the last thing is attraction. What can you do to be more attractive? I'm not talking about beauty, but that's part of it. So we can't be lazy about attractiveness and think that we're going to get the results that we want. We have to put in effort and energy. And just like everybody's like, I'm waiting for somebody because I'm going to return that same energy, or I'm waiting for a man to give me effort, or I'm looking for this vibe, this connection. You have to be the person that also is giving that kind of vibe, giving that same kind of energy, being the one that is so alluring, so attractive that you're doing things because they make you feel good. And the more that you feel good, the more you fall in love with yourself, the more that you go out into the world as your most authentic self, people are going to be attracted to that. You're going to have wonderful interactions with people. Your day is going to have little bright lights of joy, and that is going to attract that right man into your life. So one of the things that I'm trying to do is help you identify some of those red flags, 3 dating red flags you can't ignore. It's a free webinar that I'm having March 19th at 6 p.m. You can go to 3, the number 3, redflags.com to sign up right now, or you can go to follow me everywhere as the Fab Ciara.
All right. Good stuff. Good stuff. You guys, y'all make sure y'all follow the Fab Ciara. She's out there. She's making it happen, making a difference, helping people find the love that they're looking for. And I'm so glad that she came here tonight with me. And so you guys, tonight we talked about Russell Wilson and having that masculine energy that he shows.
Wait, could you say the title again? Because the title of this whole thing was so good. I want to
Yeah.
hear it again.
Yeah,
Say it.
how the title was How Russell Wilson Displays Alpha Energy That Makes Ciara Weak.
Mm.
Okay. So I want to just kind of speak to the guys who might be listening to this, that you don't have to try and measure yourself up against anybody else, any other man, right? Russell Wilson doesn't owe any other man any explanation. He only needs to know who he is and who the woman is that is in his life, right? So he steps up for her. In the clip that we showed, you guys heard the audio, but in the video, he actually comes out on stage, gives her flowers, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, I wasn't expecting this." Bang. Okay, that's masculine energy, right? She says, "I feel, I feel." What was it? I can't remember the term.
Nervous. I feel nervous.
Nervous. She feels nervous around him because he's such an amazing man to her, right? That makes her weak. She knows
Butterflies.
he's
Butterflies.
dependable.
Mm.
That makes him that makes her weak.
Mm.
She knows he shows up, he comes through, he's reliable, he's dependable. That's masculine energy. That's true masculine energy. A leader at the house, he can take care of the kids with no problem. And he's making it happen for all of them collectively. So I'm a supporter of masculinity all the way 100%. And it's what is needed in our time. Listen, it doesn't mean that you're going to be perfect. No man is going to be perfect. Nobody's going to be perfect in this. But I'm talking about you doing what you know to do to bring your level of masculine representation up. We need more masculine representation because they pushing hard against it. We need more men stepping up and being that kind of man. He's not a simp. He's not a wimp, but a great display of how a man should be to his woman. So you guys can follow me everywhere at Kelvin Troy Johnson on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, as well as Love Coach Atlanta everywhere. If you want to check out my stuff or you want to book a one-on-one session with me, go to lovecoachatlanta.com is the place where you can make that connection, or you can just reach out, shoot me an email right now at lovecoachatlanta@gmail.com. We got plenty of stuff going on. We got live events happening. I'm dropping a book in about 6 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks. I'm dropping the book, Secrets of the Mind of a Man. Ladies, if you're single, you need this book. I'm telling all the secrets. I don't care. I'm giving up all the game. You need this book in your hands to just soak up this game. Now, I'm talking about long distance relationships. I'm talking about what men desire. How do you know if a man sees you in his future? All of that. So that book is coming out in just a few months, in about two months, about 8 weeks. That book will be dropping soon. So you want that. You want that in your hand. So, Ciara, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. I just appreciate your time and your energy. Your all that, Ciara, that you bring to the stage. I really appreciate all of that.
Thank you for having me. I love what you do.
All right, you guys. Till next time. Peace and love. Later.